it's a bad internet day today, and we've been dropping quite a lot now. This is the second time we've dropped. Apologies for that. Yeah, Chetna.
Yeah, Divya, to just take your thoughts forward, I would like to just make women aware that there have been very strong policies against this sexual harassment. Now, if at any point of time you feel harassed in any way, like verbally or people, they don't, you don't like the way they look at you can just be vocal about it. You have the strong laws behind you now. Like we have seen the case of Biocon, the Kiran Majumdar Shaw, right? So she's been taking quite strong moves, and all the companies have this strong policies against sexual harassment. So any point of time, if women face they are harassed at workplace by anyone, peers, subordinates, supervisors, they should be vocal about it.
Yeah.
And definitely the law will be with you. First, it will be a domestic inquiry and all, and also after that, you always have, but then the things will not go only beyond that, because it will be taken care at the organization level only. I do have few incidents for this as well. Right? Coming from a banking sector, though I've worked for a very less number of years, you can say, but then there was a case. I had a colleague, and she had to go for a call. You can say according to Indian standards, it was a night time. It was 7 in the evening, but coming from a tier 2 city and working in the tier 2 city, it was like it was already night. So she had to go on a call, and it was a HNI, that is high net worth individual. Then she had gone with the product manager. While returning, they were on a two-wheeler and she was driving, and that person had come from some Kolkata zonal office or something, and she did not like the way he was sitting behind her and trying to touch her inappropriately. And also then she came to me, and being a person who was an MBA graduate with human resources and the labor laws and some amount of that feminism in me, I was like, no, we have to raise voice against it. So we raised voice against it, and believe me, the person was removed after some 10 or 15 days of inquiry. Yes, we had to give statements and all the other things, but then companies are becoming sensitive towards this, and they are trying to provide an amicable workplace for both men and women. And see, it's men also need to understand how they have to treat their women, colleagues. And also you should be very, very firm on your belief how, and that you cannot be treated in a certain way, and you have laws, policies in your place.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point that Chetna is sharing right now, where it is essential first to really know, whether you are being discriminated or violated in certain way, or and then there are so many avenues that you can approach if you are feeling that your performance is being jeopardized by people who are you are standing against, right? So you need to talk to the relevant people, the HR people, head, and of course every company now has a policy, and if you stand by it, appropriate actions will be taken. So that's an important point, and this is why when I approach Chetna to talk about gender discrimination, she also pointed out that it is so important that women know that they are being discriminated against.
Exactly.
Right? Most of us don't even realize, because there is so much of social conditioning that is done when you are growing up at home, or with your relatives. There's so many instances where it's like tere se nahi hoga, tu kya kar legi, things like that. So this is the reason that we thought it is high time that we talk about it and be vocal about it.
See, I would like to just say something, Divya. See,
Yeah.
this discrimination, we should accept the fact that this is something which will not change overnight, because this is something which is there's a question, I think.
Yes. Hi Aditi, thank you so much for joining. Aditi says during the interviews, hiring managers tend to ask more targeted questions about a female candidate's leadership abilities and unconsciously prefer more masculine leadership styles. Can you enlighten me on what is the masculine leadership style and how is it superior, if it is to be considered?
Aditi, that's actually a wonderful question. But then I was coming to it. See, first thing, the women have been, say, you can say, stereotyped as a caregiver, right? Say, and it's like gender specific roles that has been given to them, that you need to take care of your home, you need to be a caregiver to your children and all those kinds of things, right? And then this masculinity, they feel that the women, that men, they are more emotionally stable, or they take the decisions based on the, you can say, the facts and figures and experience. On the contrary, they feel that women take more decisions based on their intuition. Like, I would like to quote this MBTI here, that is Myers and Briggs type of indicator, which we really teach in personality. There they say that there are people who are extroverts, introverts, they are intuitive people, sensing people. So women are perceived, or you can say that it's assumed that they are more of a feeling kind of person, more of intuitive. They don't think, they do not, they are not sensing kind of people. And also they feel that it's at a certain point of time they will give more priority towards their caregiving attitude, which you can say. So that's where it is. And also, what there are some biological facts also which you can say. See, to add to this, women have good say verbal and spatial say genes in them. Their communication skills are better, right? And also, to add to this, and men are found that they have this visual spatial abilities better than females. So, but then this cannot form a basis on defining that leadership roles. Okay, but then
Also, to
unfortunately,
add to this, Chetna, I think this is the right time when we can ask the question about why, we see very less women in leadership roles. I think it goes hand in hand with Aditi's question. We see very less women, right? Indira Nooyi is one such.
yeah, we've
and
been
many,
hearing
of
all
course.
these names since long.
Yes.
Not many women adding
Yes.
into the CEO.
And every day we don't find women taking somewhere organizations still have feel, though things are changing, but I think we are still a long way to long way to go when it comes to women taking real leadership roles.
Divya, let me just give some time to this to
Yes,
explain.
yes.
I'll start from how we are brought up. And so one key word here why you don't find women is a leaky pipeline of the organizations. Now let me explain the leaky pipeline from how we grow, right? Say when we are growing up and there are both male and female kids at home, you'll see how they both are brought up. Not equally actually, right? Say women are taught to be more submissive, they are taught to accept the life how it comes, whereas male, they are, yeah, we have been fortunate enough personally, but then, and the males, they have been they are brought up that it's their family responsibility to take care of the family financially and all. They give them financial independence and all such kind of things. The same culture carries somewhere in the mindset of the organization as well. Now, why I use the word leaky pipeline? Say the moment I say men and women, they both join the workforce and they are on the same thing. So and there's one management term, that is succession planning. Now, succession
Yeah.
planning for it's like say based on my knowledge, skill, and abilities, the organization will plot me in how many years I'll be ready for a particular, or how many months I'll be ready for a particular managerial position. Now, in that, what happens is not many women actually make up to. Now, let me quote some numbers, Divya. Like, say, out of every 100 men selected, only 72 women are selected in that pipeline. Are you getting it? So, say for example, if, and also the numbers which the women they form in the workforce. Say if 100 women, 100 men are joining, only 72 women are joining in the workforce. In the other numbers may be even worse in our country. So it's only 72 women. So are you understanding the leaky
Yes,
pipeline?
yes, yes.
And then when this a selection of say succession planning comes, that which person will be put in how many years, somewhere or the other, these organizations have in mind that women will again go on that healthcare needs, and they because of all these and the things which we have been talking about, that caregiving attitude, and this gender specific role which has
They will probably think about their family first rather
exactly.
than the work.
So they do not get, and by the time they the you can say the virtual corporate ladder which they climb, 100 men are there, only 32 women are there. So you're seeing already people, I mean women have lost and they don't reach to that position at
Very,
all.
very, very important point, Chetna, there, because this is something, you know, we don't realize, because this is happening, and it's a continuous cycle that keeps happening, keeps repeating itself.
And let me quote in the number of salary also.
Yeah.
Though I'll be giving the figures in dollars, but then see the similar pace, if the men and women both start working, and it has been found that men are paid that superannual payment, which is that's $198,000, right? And same place, same position, same performance, women are paid only $112,600. I mean, see the disparity that's there. So the organizations here need to just do a little mindset change, that it should not it shouldn't be the gender which is defining the
Yes.
I mean payment or other roles and responsibility. It should be the performance which is defining. We have another question.
Yes, Tanya is saying, adding to the succession of leadership roles, I have seen the few women in leadership positions become extremely aggressive and start micromanaging. How should this be dealt with?
This is something which is the society is judgmental, right? Like I'll tell you one experience which I had in one of my classes. I take lectures for MBA as well as for bachelor's management. So when I asked a question that how many of you would not mind reporting to a lady boss, I did not see many confident hands from male students in MBA. BBA was a different field because they do not have that broader perspective of the life. They are more of, I mean, their adrenaline rush is even more higher. So they just happily raise, oh ma'am, we don't have a problem. But then, they don't have, or you can just see the positive side of also of this, Divya. Maybe the newer generation which is coming up will not have that patriarchal mindset. So this thing is something which the say judgmental society.
Coming to this, Tanya, I would like to, you know, it's a very, very deep question that she's asked. See, first of all, why are women getting aggressive once they are being given leadership roles? Okay, is it because people are not responding to them the way they should be? Is it because people are questioning their leadership? Because there's something that is triggering that aggression. We need to first understand that. Why are they getting into micromanaging? Is it because they are not being given the kind of inputs, you know, whatever they are trying to do? So we need to understand that first, because you know, somewhere still in the society, you know, once a lady has taken up a leadership role, there are a lot of eyebrows raised, a lot of questions asked. Will she be able to handle? Why? Right? And when the same thing is being handled by a man, nobody asks those kind of questions. So why does this happen? So this is a very, very nice question, Tanya, but it is also very deep rooted. Okay, and then we also need to understand what are the circumstances that you know, this lady who's in this leadership role facing, because of which she is taking these kind of actions. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
And then again, quoting few numbers, it's the researchers show that 52% of men, 52% of women are stressed more, and only 42% of women, men are stressed at their workplaces. Now, are you getting this stress? How it comes? It's just because the society and the organizations are more judgmental, and sometimes when you feel you're being watched, so the thing is that you happen to become more aggressive. but there have been women leaders who have done a wonderful job as well.
So Tanya is adding here to, in response to us, that I totally understand why and what she might be going through. How should I deal as a subordinate? Okay, of course there's so much more pressure on a woman to perform. My question is, as her subordinate, how should I deal with it, and until which point can we justify the misplaced issue? So again, Tanya, I think dialogue is something which
Yeah, even I was about to say that clear communication is something which is.
can you really have that dialogue with her and understand from where is she coming? Have a very open and
Informal setup
a
conversation.
feedback to
Yeah.
her, saying that we've noticed that this is happening. Is something bothering you? Would you like us to assist you in any way to take off the load from you, or and try to gauge then whether it is really something that needs to be addressed, or it is then a behavioral issue, right? It can be both. So to first be very fair to the situation, it is important to really understand what's going on, and see how you can have that dialogue, or have the relevant people have that conversation with the person, and then deal with it. Because if it is not something which can be handled, good, but if it is a behavioral issue, then of course, then even women can have some issues where they're being extra aggressive, which needs some attention. So that kind of feedback needs to go to that person.
Now, I would like to add something here, Divya. Like, see, we are also seeing that she is a woman, so she's aggressive. Are you getting where is the discrimination? Somewhere in our minds also. So I would just like to say that you shouldn't have any preconceived notions that she's a lady boss, that's why she is. Each one based on their behavior, things they'll be behaving, and they'll be reacting or responding to the situation. So the best thing is clarity in communication. You can just try and talk to them and try and understand, and then you'll come to know what exactly is the situation all like, and what exactly the boss wants from you. And also make the boss realize that at some point of time she should also, consider us, each one of us like to be respected at workplace. So to respect the boss, she should also be able to respect the subordinates.
Yes, that is given.
So
That is
make her
absolutely
realize that word respect is something which is important.
So, Chetna, now I really want to come to this topic, which is very was nice question that Tanya, and if there's any more, please feel free to drop, and we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, last month, right, we heard this company giving period leave, right, for a year. And would you like to share something?
Yeah, why not? I again, I've been talking about this. I told you, right? I've been researching because I have real life. I am only the example of all these things.
But it's really nice, Chetna, that you have been so vocal. I've known you personally too, and I know that even in the personal space, you tend to bring out these issues, and you've been quite vocal about it, which is quite nice. So yeah, please.
The major, the crux of this topic and crux of this discussion was to just bring that fire in the women, that they need to understand that they're being discriminated, and they need to fight for it.
Yes.
Because if you want to make the organizations and the world a better place for your children, you need to fight for that. You need to be that change.
There has to be that one woman who will stand up,
so
and many women will
exactly.
get
Now coming to that question, Divya.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Zomato which had come last year with the policy of 10 days paid leave, period paid leave. Now let me first, period is seen as a taboo. Though everybody knows that the world will not it's the world's origin that happens. But still, you see how you go to how you go to the stores, and how do they wrap the sanitary napkins and give you as if something bad that has happened in your life.
I stopped doing that, by the way.
I'm just telling you how it happens.
Yeah.
So it's actually a very good move and Zomato should actually be congratulated. And they've brought in a fabulous thing. Yeah, of course, it was criticized a lot for this move because see, I mean, there's no harm in telling that you're having a difficult period. Like I'll tell you, I joined a new job in 2013, and I had a colleague. See, we are fortunate women that we have our cycles 28 days to 34 days. Poor lady, she had a cycle of 50 days, which is
Wow.
little abnormal situation, you can say.
Mm.
But biologically, it's correct because
possible.
doctors say that if you have a regular 50-day cycle also, it's fine. And but then her periods were terrible, and she was scared when it was about to get. And your body starts giving you this indications, right? That's it's going to come and all those things. And I remember 3 instances where I had to take her to the doctor, and she was under supervision for 12 hours to 24 hours.
Wow.
The pain which she used to, I mean, the period pain she used to have, she has survived all the while till she had a child on this Anafortin and Brufen, I can say. And also she was admitted in the hospital quite some time. I worked with her for almost 2 years. So I mean, Zomato has actually addressed these kind of issues.
Yeah, Tanya has something to say on period leaves. So there are many women who claim that they braved through their cramps and got on with their jobs. How can we make them understand that just because something has been normalized doesn't mean that it is right? Absolutely, absolutely, Tanya. I mean, that is where, that's the social conditioning that we are talking about. It is because people make you feel so terrible that you are taking a leave, or you're not able to complete a task because of your period cycle, that you try to be normal, you try to push the limits, you try to finish that, you try to normalize it. But this is the kind of discrimination that we are talking about. It's a biological need.
No, that's absolutely fine.
No, we are loving it. Keep it going. This is reality, right? This is what we wanted to talk about. I too have had colleagues who have faced horrible periods. I'm glad that this has been introduced. Yeah. Yes, Surbhi.
So many more companies, rather than criticizing it, they should try and include this in. There's one more company which is not giving 10 days, but then they're giving 5 or 6 days of period leave in a year. See, I mean, not going very far. Even my sister had difficult periods. I mean, she also had to take, and again, the situations got normal only when she had a child. So she also had the day 1 and day 2 very difficult.
And it's like this, Chetna. You know that you are physically in pain and you cannot focus.
Yeah.
You tell me what productivity will you
Nothing.
deliver?
See, that is where the company should change their mindset. They see now the companies. Now I understand it's a very competitive world, but it's not the duration which matters. It's the performance which matters.
Yes.
Right. Now, if I come to office, I spend my 10 hours in your
Yes.
office just criticizing. Oh, my office is bad. They don't understand, and all these things, and I don't work. The office is happy. Oh, the person has come. But then, if in place,
Tanya has a very nice thing to say. It's funny that men can pee in public, but we can't carry our pads out. Yeah, Tanya, absolutely.
that is what I was telling you, how it is wrapped and given. But yeah, these people don't understand. If we did not have periods, nobody would be born.
And another aspect to this also is that, they feel that women are just making an excuse. They're just making an excuse to just get on with the day, right? I have tummy ache, I can't do it. But it's not true. You can't just generalize it. People may have real issues during.
Now, I have one thing to
but
ask.
of course, these companies who are becoming lighthouses, where they're taking these type, kudos to them that they're being so sensitive towards the female workforce.
See, Divya, here I would like to just ask one thing. Tell me which law has not been misused.
Yes.
Each and every law has its own loopholes, right?
Yeah.
Now, that is something which depends on the ethics and value system which you've been. Now, see, if you work on numbers, You know there will be certain amount of wastage, there will be some certain amount of misuse. That does not mean that you don't frame laws, right? Or you don't bring in policies.
Correct.
Yeah, your policies will be misused, but see the magnitude to which it is being successful.
Yeah.
If it is successful 90%, you should be happy. The company should keep that policy strongly and vouch for that.
And one more thing, Chetna, this brings to the fact that, you know, mothers get maternity leave, but fathers hardly, like, you know, get any. Now we have started hearing that, okay, some few fathers are now getting, you know, paternity leaves. So, something on that.
Yes. First, let me tell you, there's a lots of pressure on maternity leaves also. Because again, the policy is differential for both men and women. As I've already told, women are seen as caregivers, and it is taken for granted that woman has given birth to the child and the woman has to take care for a longer period of time. Why is that so? It's the blood and genes from both of them, right? So to normalize this load, I somewhere feel that these maternity and paternity breaks should be equalized.
Yes.
If at all not equalized, it should at least have some parity, right? So unfortunately in India, you have paternity leaves from 3 days to 20 days depending on the company policy. Now, in place of that, if the companies are able to give a longer paternity leave, now even women had to fight for 6 months of paid paternity leave.
Yeah.
It was maternity
It
leave.
took a long
It was
time.
only in 2017-18 that
Yes.
they paid. It was only 3 months.
Yes.
So then
Whereas they say, you know, they say that the baby has to be breastfed only till 6 months.
Yeah.
And then the leave is
Yeah.
only for
3 months.
Was for 3 months.
Yes, was. But now, thanks to Government of India, they've done something good, and also you can extend it. But then, to normalize this burden of maternity and paternity and bring in equality, it is high time that the companies rethink about their policies. It is not a gender-specific role, because we are moving towards a nuclear family. Right? In nuclear family, that women, like as we have given birth to children, so we know that what's the kind of pressure which you have, both mentally, physically, it's so taxing. So it would be wonderful if your better half is around you for a longer period of time. And also, see, if we are taking any new step in the organization, initially it would pinch, giving a paternity leave of 1 month or 2 months. It would pinch, but then in the long run, just see the things, it'll be better, right?
Yeah.
Or it can be just reshaped a little, that if any jobs allow work from home, allow even the father to work from home.
Yes.
For a longer period of time, to
Yes.
normalize that burden on a gender.
Yes, absolutely. And good point being made by Tanya that, you know, paternity leave is so important given how many women suffer
This is
from
what we were talking,
postpartum
Divya.
depression, fatigue, exhaustion. And, you know, if we go back to our own, you know, postpartum phase, babies breastfeed the entire night. You are like
Day and night,
day
Divya.
and night.
45 minutes, one session.
Exactly, right? And you are absolutely groggy. You don't know what is the day time, and you know
There's some more point coming up.
Surbhi says, and in case you have a tough pregnancy, management sometimes asks you to start the maternity leave before your delivery, so you do not get even the complete period.
Yeah.
Yes, Surbhi, exactly.
So there again, Survi, if you remember, we made a word, more empathetic and more compassionate. That's one word which the companies should include in their value systems as well.
But Chetna, I you know, today's takeaway for me, and it has really hit me very hard, is the pipeline that you talked about.
Yeah.
And how, you know, we don't even realize that due to the kind of struggles that women are coping with, and you know, the midlife crisis, or you're getting married, and you know, and you're losing all those years, and then you are feeling dejected, and the society is not even, you know, giving you that chance to reconnect with your career. So I think there's a lot to be done here, you know, where the society by itself has to be welcoming, because we are absolutely equal. We can do equal, and this also reminds me about the engineering numbers.
Oh yeah, that's really bad. It's only 9% of women who form the workforce in core engineering. That has to change. That is where the mindset needs to change. Like it shouldn't be gender specific fields.
Yeah.
It should be performance specific fields.
Yes.
Why just give opportunities to a single gender, right? It's both men and women are equal in their capacities. So it should be based on their capabilities, not based on their genders.
Yeah.
See, 9% is something which is very disheartening.
Yes.
So yeah, of course this will not change overnight, but then we have to make it change. We have to be more vocal about, say, if you feel you're getting less paid than your counterpart, then you can just voice it out, and you can just educate women to bring in. And also to add, there was a question about leadership, right? So if the companies really want to change something and they want to actually put their image as that they're an unbiased organization, they should bring in more mentors and leaders who are more of a broader mindset,
Yes.
who believe in equality.
Yes.
Now, if these kind of people are promoted, be it male or female, the scenario will
Absolutely.
change in the due course of time.
Absolutely.
Right? You shouldn't have that orthodox and the conservative mindset of people. So, if these kinds of mentors who will help you in voicing out the concerns,
Yes.
then this will change the scenario in the organizations and in the world also.
Very well said. Very well said. This brings me to a very interesting word, which is feminism. Okay, all these efforts that at an individual level or at an organizational level, would you call this as feministic?
See, I have a very, very broad perspective of feminism, Divya. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you call me feminist also. But feminism is nothing bad. See, I'm educated, right? And I'm a component of the society. So it is my duty to give something back to the society. So if I'm able to voice out some concerns which people are facing and not able to express, and if I bring happiness and that smile on one face also, or to be very specific, to on one woman's face also, I would be very happy, and I would have some meaning to my life. So that's not. Now people attach so many things to feminism, that if you get your husband to cook and all, then you're feminist and all those things. It's the equal responsibility.
Yeah.
That's not feminism, right? Like if father takes care of your children, you are actually made to realize, oh, your husband is taking care. He's just being a father.
Yeah,
So
I
that's,
agree.
yeah. So I mean, call me feminist. That's absolutely fine. But then it's high time. We are not in 18th century. We're in 21st century, where you have your own ambitions. You have to search for your own happiness. Give some time. Now here I would like to quote Swami Vivekananda. You all might have heard, he told that if you do not talk to yourself at least for 10 minutes in a day, you actually lose say the opportunity to talk to one of the best persons in the world.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
you are one of the best person. So why don't bring that change in yourself? Think about that, where is something wrong happening to you? So try and change that. Otherwise, as you said, midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Right? See, here I don't say women that you have to work and earn, but then you should have a backup plan of your life so that you don't get into that midlife crisis.
Absolutely.
Whatever you like. Say you have a child now, you would have devoted your time to bringing up the child. And what happens when the child moves out of your vicinity and
Yeah.
becomes more independent?
You start questioning yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now what?
Now what?
Also, Chetna, I just wanted to add this point here, Thiens, is that if there were no feminists in this world, and we've seen so many, right, so many generations, and there will be beautiful feminist people, I think women today, wherever we have come to, we wouldn't have. Right, so a bit of feminism is definitely required, just to voice out what you really are going through and what you feel is a discrimination. And if that sense is there in you, you will be able to break those shackles and will be able to do what you want to do in life. So I think a bit of feminism is not bad.
Why call it feminism, Divya? Why can't we call it revolutionaries?
Yes.
We are here to just bring in a solution, right?
Absolutely.
Just change. See, first thing, if you want now, see, some people they have this. No, I want to keep my family happy. So if you want to keep your family happy, boss, you need to be happy. Yeah. So how can you be happy? I mean, just think about yourself, love yourself, and have that self-awareness, and don't allow anything wrong to be done to you.
Very, very important point that you need to really be aware that what is an act of discrimination versus what is normal, right? So that sense has to be there.
That's a
Survey
question.
says, what advice would you give to women who have dropped out of workforce due to various reasons and find it difficult to get back?
And this is what we were talking, Divya, the
Yes.
leaky pipeline.
Yes.
And the life cycle stage, you get back. See, if you want to go back to work, you have various avenues where you can just upgrade your skills and get back to work. If not, you might be having some passion. Just follow that. And thanks to this technology, say Facebook, Twitter, or all the social thing, you can just put up your work and start something which you like. So first identify within yourself, what is the thing which you like, what are the things which will keep you happy and
Right.
occupied. Now, you earn something out of it, you don't earn something out of it is absolutely different. But then follow your passion something.
Yes, Tanya, I just read your remark here. A bit feminism is required because women are still being mistreated and not the women
yeah.
are superior. Yes, I agree. I was just being a little modest, but totally agree with your point of view. Surbi says that some start questioning their self-worth and self-esteem. Yes. So Surbi, here it is a struggle. It is definitely a struggle because we don't know from where we need to start. So as Chetna rightly pointed out, upgrade your skills to see where you fit into the workforce back again, and try that. If not, if you have that time to think about what passion you would like to pursue, then that can also be
And technology is there to help you.
There are a lot of avenues now, and we see so many entrepreneurs coming up, mompreneurs coming up, doing
And home
amazing
business is something
job.
which has become very in vogue, right?
Yeah, and Tanya says, don't let it get you down. Yes.
Yeah. There's something which I would like to that.
Yes.
See, we women, we have that feeling of self-guilt always. Oh, if I'm working, I'm not given time to my this. It's not the amount of time which you're spending, it's the quality of the time which you spend.
Agreed.
So again, getting back to Swami Vivekananda, it's no harm if you spend some time on yourself. You need to invest, right?
Yeah.
You need to love yourself and be more self-aware and not get discriminated and mistreated.
Absolutely. So, Chetna, I think this has been a wonderful discussion, and we are towards the end of our 1 hour talk with you. Thank you so much. I think, we've touched upon amazing, and thanks to Tanya and Surbi who've been with us and, brought out amazing questions. And Tanya says there are programs from Tata that enables women to re-enter workforce post-pregnancy, along with another startup in Bangalore. Sure, please do. That's really good.
Tatas have been a
very-
wonderful industrialists, you can say.
They are the broad perspective
yeah,
of
yeah.
things, and they try to do the best for the society. So yeah. So please do share, Tanya. We'll be very happy to have you. Have your comments and suggestions. But amazing discussion. I think I myself am taking a lot from this discussion, Chetna. And I myself, have not really given this, though, for me also as a woman in the workforce, right? There's so many challenges that you
We
face
all face every day, every
day,
moment rather.
right? Especially when you have to leave a kid back home and still perform at work, right?
See,
That's the biggest
I
challenge.
now that my kid is, little grown up and she can wake up, there has been time in my life where as I used to leave my child sleeping, I used to leave work for 6:45, Divya, 6:45, 7 I used to leave, and she would be sleeping. And you can understand how emotionally taxing it could be, and the judgmental society, of course. And then I used to come back home only by 5 o'clock. So I used to get to see my child only at 5 o'clock in the evening. So that's emotionally challenging for a mother. But then society will not understand what is going through me
That's where
and
I
what's
think we
the
as a society, as you
That's-
rightly said,
yeah.
that empathy, right?
Yeah.
And women being feel more comfortable at workspace is something that the society
the
needs
same
to work
if the
on.
man leaves a child sleeping and comes, probably they think, oh, it's their
It's okay.
responsibility. So that's where we need to change the thought process, the mindset, the classical conditioning which we do of our children from beginning.
Right.
That self-guilt shouldn't be there.
Meg says it's very important for us to redefine our own
Own
place before anyone else tries to box us in. Absolutely. Tanya says make the session mandatory in schools and colleges. Yes, I totally agree. It all starts from
That's
those years
Yeah, yeah.
where you are conditioned in a way, right? And people need to understand what is gender discrimination, and what you could face, and how to raise your voice on that. And also there's one point that I'm missing. Yeah, one important point, which when me and Chetna, we were preparing for the session, which came up in our dialogue, was about a simple test being done for the workforce. The women workforce is the hemoglobin test. Okay, not many women understand the kind of repercussions they go through because of being anemic. Okay, and because of blood loss that happens due to periods, it becomes even more essential that we take care of our health, right? So Mamta says these sessions should be taken in offices too. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you so much for joining also. So I, if our offices are so concerned about us, and if our offices and management is so concerned about the women workforce, a periodic free hemoglobin test,
it only takes a drop of blood.
a drop of blood should be done to help women realize that their health needs attention. Lot of us overlook this. Lot of us, due to the pressures at work and at home, neglect our health, right? And lot of things start from there.
And that
also.
is where you are judged, and it is assumed that you do not have that capacity or capability to
Exactly.
work. So if the organizations
Let's make it factual,
Yeah.
right?
If
Make
the
it
organization, see, the organizations have been boasting, right, that they have become more say concerned about their workforce. So if they are so concerned about their workforce, they check the cholesterol, they check whether your say respiratory system and other things are fine or not. But then one very key aspect, which of course Zomato understood, is that one small test will make the women also aware about her health standards, and probably she'll be able to take
action.
And be in a better health shape.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even most educated women and the women who are working at top managerial positions might not think that a small test as a hemoglobin test can do wonders in their say physical capacity to work.
Absolutely. There's so many things,
See, this is a topic,
associated.
Divya, where we can just
go on and on and on
for hours together, right?
I know. Yes, Tanya, absolutely. And it's a food for thought. Why our management has no hemoglobin tests made? Like either you tell us to take it, make it mandatory, or you offer it to
get it tested.
or you offer it. Either ways, make women aware of their physical condition.
Like you also, Divya, would have experienced this. That first day of job, 3 or 4 hours, they just tell you to do the documentation and go out for what are your health standards and all. But nowhere it is mentioned where's the hemoglobin level, which is very, very important for women, right? Say, some women are fortunate enough to have it on the higher side, but then there are some women who are on the lower side, probably they also don't think. So these are certain things, small things, which the management can introduce and do wonders for. And also see, there was one research in India which is said, see, now if we don't take this COVID situation, our GDP was say approximately it's 6 to 7%, right? So there's a research which has actually found out that if the women form the 50% of the workforce and all the capable women start working, our GDP will be in double digits.
Yeah, it's
And I'm just not making the statement. I have proper research and the say forum which is actually given it. So just see where you can do, and that lifestyle, that again leaky pipeline. So we just keep moving out and out.
yes.
And then if you want to rejoin, probably you're out of the skill or
And
something.
you'll be so tired and
Yeah.
exhausted with the entire process,
So
and
there should-
just let it be.
Yeah, you have this one website, right? Sheroes. They are actually working. Say if you want to get back from the maternity leave and all, and then start working, they are the ones who are providing the platform.
Wonderful.
And then you all have that entrepreneurship is something coming up. Thalassemia, minor.
Yes, Tanya. So I think yes, it has been a wonderful discussion, and as Chetna rightly said, we can go on and on and on this. But I'm glad that we are talking about essential issues that women face, and thank you so much, Chetna.
It's
You've
been
brought
my pleasure, Divya.
no, you've brought such needed discussion that every woman should actually think about, be aware about, and take those actions that is required to benefit in their life, right? So thank you so much, Chetna. Is there any last words that you would like to share with the Theans and the team behind Thea, who've been trying to, we celebrate women. That has been our center motivation. For me, for Surbhi, for Mekhala, we all, want to celebrate women, and with that, we also want to celebrate the artisans and the workforce that is dying. Bring them up, bring their work up, and showcase that. Is there anything that you would like to share?
You are doing actually a commendable job, Divya. Congratulations to your team and you.
Thank you.
See,
Chetna.
I am a teacher, right? So if you wouldn't have asked, I would have summarized. Because that's the thing we do it in the normal practice. So see, few things which I would just like to conclude is, first, try and be self-aware and understand that there's discrimination happening. And also see, there are laws in place. You have Equal Remuneration Act, you have this various civil rights which you have rights against sexual harassment, you have equal opportunities for all. So laws are in place.
Yes.
It's high time women be vocal about themselves, right? And they demand for their rights. Yes, change is happening, women are demanding, but the situation needs to be more, say that firm thing should, that determination should be there, that no, I will not allow myself to be discriminated. And also, spend some time with yourself and have a backup plan to not face that midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And love yourself. That's one thing which I would say. If you love yourself, thing will fall in place. And don't have that self-guilt in you, oh, I'm not able. Whatever you are or we are awesome. Right? We have that capacity and we are awesome. So that's one thing I would just like to say
Thank
to
you,
every
Chetna.
woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining,
Thank you.
everyone, and it has been a wonderful discussion. And if there are any specific questions that you want us to answer, or you want us to consider, please leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you. And as a last bit, Tanya says reach out to me anytime. Maybe I can help out with people looking to hire. Sure, Tanya. Thank you so much for that. And Surbhi says let's be vocal for women workforce then. Yes, I totally agree with that. Thank you so much. So that's a wrap.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.